Liverpool fans, big transfer news and tough decisions for Arne Slot. Stay updated, subscribe to Anfield Wire now. Liverpool transfer news as $54 million defender linked and Federico Chiesa price set. The latest Liverpool news and transfer rumors as the Reds are linked with signing a Wolfsburg center-back. While there is an update on the future of Federico Chiesa, Liverpool has reportedly entered the race to sign another young center-back off the back of its recent acquisition of Jeremy Jacquet. The Reds agreed a deal to sign Jacquet from French side Rennes last week, with the transfer delayed until this summer's transfer window. Over recent months, Liverpool has started to take steps to rebuild the team's defense amid uncertainty over most of the center-backs that are currently at Arne Slot's disposal. Ibrahima Konate could leave the team on a free transfer this summer, while Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez are both out of contract in 2027. Last summer's arrival of Giovanni Leone, coupled with the agreement to sign Jacquet, could reportedly be followed by a move to sign Wolfsburg defender Konstantinos Kouliarakis. Voetbaldaten reports that Wolfsburg accepts that Kouliarakis is likely to leave the club this summer, with Liverpool and Tottenham among the clubs interested in signing the 22-year-old. It is reported that Kouliarakis is valued between $42 million and $54 million. Rather worryingly for Liverpool, impending arrival Jacquet was forced off from Rennes' League One game against Lens on Saturday night due to a serious shoulder injury. Rennes manager Habib Bey said after the game that the injury is quite serious, posing questions over how long Jacquet could be sidelined for, and it has been suggested that the problem could require surgery. Meanwhile, Caught Offside reports that Liverpool is open to selling Federico Chiesa this summer, due to doubts over whether he will ever adapt to the pace of the Premier League. Chiesa, who was linked with a return to Juventus during the January transfer window, is expected to be the subject of interest from clubs in Italy this summer. The suggestion is that Liverpool would be willing to sell Chiesa between $30 million and $36 million, which would be a success considering the Reds signed him for a significantly lower amount than that in 2024. It is claimed that Juve is the current frontrunner in the race to sign Chiesa, but that other Italian clubs, Roma and Napoli, could also be interested in the forward. Since joining Liverpool 18 months ago, Chiesa has registered 5 goals and 5 assists in 39 appearances in all competitions, but he has been handed just 2 starts in the Premier League.
4 options Arne Slot could consider at right back against Sunderland, following Dominik Szoboszlai's red card. Right back has been a problem position this season due to the fitness issues of Connor Bradley and Jeremy Frimpong. Dominik Szoboszlai has regularly filled in, but that will not be case on Tuesday. Liverpool's issues at right back have been taken to new extremes following Dominik Szoboszlai's red card against Manchester City on Sunday. The midfielder has acted as defensive cover in the last 2 games following Jeremy Frimpong's injury against Karabag, but Szoboszlai will be ineligible to do so again at the Stadium of Light on Wednesday after his controversial pull on Erling Haaland resulted in his dismissal in the latter stages of the 2-1 loss at Anfield last weekend. Slot also confirmed he is not expecting Frimpong to be back in time from his groin issue, while it looks unlikely Joe Gomez will be available following the hip injury he sustained against Bournemouth last month. Jeremy for sure not. We knew that when he got injured. It was a few weeks, said the Liverpool coach after the City defeat. To be honest, I don't expect Joe back for Wednesday, but you never know. Then he is back from being out for 3 weeks. Would you play him now? I have to make that decision. Let's see what decision we make. We have other players that can play that position as well. Dom played very well in that position again, but unfortunately he is unavailable for Wednesday. With Connor Bradley out for the remainder of the season, those options are severely limited. Wataru Endo would seem the obvious choice, given he played at right back against Karabag after Frimpong's withdrawal. However, the Japan captain has started just 1 league match under Slot, and that came after Liverpool had secured the title last season. Endo also lacks match fitness, having played just over 100 minutes in the league this term. Curtis Jones is another player Slot has previously deployed at right back, as was the case against PSV Eindhoven earlier this season. given his need for minutes, that may represent a viable option. An alternative solution would be to select Andy Robertson at right back, although playing a left footer in that position could upset the team's balance. Oddly, Calvin Ramsay, a natural right back, is unlikely to start against Sunderland. The 22-year-old has been named on the bench for the last 10 league matches, but has never previously made a Premier League appearance. He did play in a Carabao Cup defeat to Crystal Palace in October, but Slot is reluctant to call upon him for league matches. The moment I am running out of options, he showed in the one game that he played against Palace and the moments he trained with us that he is good enough to be in and around our players, and then you have to wait for a chance to show this to the rest of the world, Slot said last month. But at this moment in time, I have, in my opinion, still better options than him. So it could come down to a straight selection between the more defensively astute Endo or Jones, who will invariably help Liverpool's build-up play. Slot's approach to the match, his tactical demands, and his assessment of Sunderland will determine who starts at right back on Wednesday.
Liverpool has begun to improve in recent weeks, but defeats to Bournemouth and Man City show there is still more work to be done, and Arne Slot's roster is looking threadbare. Facing an uphill battle to make the Champions League places this season, things are yet to click into place for Liverpool. Predicting the next game, let alone the remainder of the campaign, feels futile. Arne Slot's men are playing catch-up to Manchester United and Chelsea, which only a few months ago would have seemed ludicrous. Though they have improved substantially in the last few weeks, it was from a very low bar. There have been positives, however. There were even positives to take from Sunday's defeat to Manchester City, even though it wouldn't have felt like that inside the Liverpool locker room at the final whistle. Without question, having gone ahead through Dominik Szoboszlai, the Reds should have at least come away with a point. Instead, they lost the game in more ridiculous circumstances, with the Hungarian getting sent off in the process. While that cannot be overlooked and must be addressed as Liverpool seeks to find some of the consistency that it is clearly desperate for, there were some players deserving of praise. Milos Kerkez, for one, has come under fire a lot in some quarters since his $54 million, £40 million move from Bournemouth in the summer. Here, though, he was quietly very good. There is still more to come from him, especially in the final third, but his defensive assurance appears to be growing. He kept Antoine Semenyo, a former teammate, of course, very quiet on the wing. Further forward, Florian Wirtz impressed again, too. His back-heeled flick into Mohamed Salah in the first half was a sign not only of his class and awareness, but also his growing confidence. Wirtz needed more from those around him. Cody Gakpo, Mohamed Salah, and Hugo Ekitike were all varying degrees of quiet, though the latter has done well of late. But he played well again and is clearly fitter and stronger than he was even a few weeks ago. That it was Wirtz and Kerkez this week who stood out in a positive sense. A week earlier, it was Wirtz and Ekitike who got the plaudits against Newcastle, points to a wider trend. Liverpool did not do enough business last summer. Its squad is too thin and lacking in depth in key areas, but the players that it did buy for a combined sum of around $600 were the right ones, and there's no suggestion the club wasn't active in the window. In time, there is no reason to doubt that Premier League-proven Alexander Isak will come good. Without his ACL injury, we would already have seen much more from Giovanni Leone, and Jeremy Frimpong has impressed when he has been fit. When the next transfer window opens, in addition to Jeremy Jackett arriving, Liverpool will need to be busy again. The quality of the signings it makes, on the evidence of last year, should not be in question. The major difference that needs to be addressed this time around is the quantity. Such moves will be considerably easier to pull off if Liverpool is back in the Champions League, and not just for financial reasons. If it is to qualify for that competition, though, it is likely to be fired there by the improving likes of Ekitike, Wirtz, and Kerkez.
Arne Slot faces difficult Calvin Ramsay decision as Liverpool consider major change. Liverpool are next up against Sunderland in the Premier League, with Arne Slot facing some selection posers. Liverpool couldn't make it 3 in a row at Anfield when they let a late lead slip to lose 2-1 against Moneybags Manchester City on Sunday afternoon. Dominik Szoboszlai thumped in a tremendous free kick from long range, only for Bernardo Silva to equalize before Erling Haaland scored an injury-time winner from the penalty spot. Arne Slot's side will now aim to close the gap on the top 5 in the Premier League when they travel to Sunderland on Wednesday evening. And here we look ahead to the changes Reds head coach Slot could make when his team are next in action. With nobody expected back available, and Szoboszlai joining those on the sidelines through suspension, Slot doesn't have much room to rotate for the second of 3 games inside 7 days. Alisson Becker remains first choice between the sticks, with Georgi Mamardashvili likely to appear in the FA Cup tie against Brighton on Saturday. Freddie Woodman is the third goalkeeper. Slot has indicated Joe Gomez won't be fit in time, so Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk are poised to have to go again at center-back. Giovanni Rioni is out for the season. Youngster Welody Lucky is hamstrung, which leaves Wataru Endo as the only realistic alternative. Endo, though, could be needed at right-back, with Gomez set to still be out alongside Connor Bradley, Jeremy Frimpong, and Szoboszlai. Calvin Ramsay has yet to make a Premier League appearance, but could be on standby, although Curtis Jones appears the more likely choice. Milos Kerkez was impressive against City, meaning Andy Robertson may have to wait until the weekend to feature at left-back. Midfield conundrum. The absence of Szoboszlai and the possibility of Endo and Jones featuring in the rearguard means Slot doesn't have many senior options in midfield. Either could be an option at the base of the engine room should Slot look to freshen up the usual partnership of Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister. Jones is also an alternative in the number 10 role, although Florian Wirtz appears to have nailed down the position at present. Train Yoni has featured for only a few minutes in the Premier League, while Stefan Bajcetic appears no nearer a return from a long-term hamstring issue. Chiesa standby. The attack has remained unchanged for the last few games, and the smart money is on the status quo being maintained at the Stadium of Light. Cody Gakpo has featured on the left, with Hugo Ekitike down the middle and Mohamed Salah on the right. Federico Chiesa is an option across the front line, while Gakpo could conceivably push down the middle should Ekitike be rested. Rio Numaha, the 17-year-old left winger, has yet to make a Premier League start, while academy forward Jayden Danns is still out.